Folks, welcome back. I have your latest home prices and insights for York Region for week ending June the 8th, 2022. There's so much going on in this market. York Region especially is seeing some major changes, and it's confusing a lot of people. There are sellers that went onto the market with February prices in their mind, and a whole bunch have come to the realization that they just can't get those prices, and they are now dropping their prices and figuring, okay, there you go, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I've dropped the price, now buy it. And buyers are looking at this and thinking, no, we expect prices to go down more because of all the headlines and everything that we're reading, and this is just what we expect in our attitude. And even when prices are lower, they're holding back. It's very confusing, very challenging for sellers, also for buyers. Should we buy or shouldn't we buy? The sellers, the listing agents, a while back in February or even before February, if you had a listing, let's just say it was a guaranteed sale. It's practically a guaranteed sale. If you had a listing you were going to sell, you didn't have to do much and there'd be a whole bunch of offers. That's not the case today, and it's changed very quickly. The realtor you hire to sell your home needs to be skilled, needs to be experienced, needs to really know what they're doing and have the skills and the ability to guide you and navigate you through the way the market is right now. It's not a guarantee that you go on the market and you're going to get a sale. It's not even a guarantee now you're going to get a bunch of listings. So the realtor you hire needs to be skilled. That's my message to you all today. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video, in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and I'll make sure I'm available so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. And let me tell you real quick, I met this guy called David. Now, my kids got for me for Father's Day car detailing, and it's a mobile service. And so I met this guy David, who owns the company. It's a new business he's starting off, and normally I'm not necessarily promoting other businesses, but let me tell you, what a great service. It's not just a service. I mean, David did a phenomenal job, came to my house, and I was busy working in my home office, and my car's getting detailed in the driveway, but what an attitude David has. It's a new business, so I'm so excited to promote it. All of David's contacts will be in the description below. Give him a call if you need mobile detailing. He'll come to your place. And if you're looking for a great starter detached home, check out the video at the end of this video. Okay, let's get into the number. I've got Vaughan on the board here. These are detached properties only for a whole year, broken down by week. We sold 34 detached properties in Vaughan last week for week ending June 8th. Now, sales have been going up over the last 3 weeks, but they're really not that high. We sold 34 last week. 9 of those were at $2 million or more. An average sold price shot way up to $1,942,000. But I have to say something about that. Now, I often say, what happens on a weekly basis, don't track that so closely, but step back and kind of look at the trend. Well, I can tell you, when we go from one property selling at $2 million or more to 9, that's going to shoot up average sold price, especially when sales are this low, only 34 sales. But I can also tell you that one of those properties at $2 million or more was like $7,250,000. If we remove just that one sale, and the only reason I even suggest it is because it's a bit abnormal that there's a between $7 and $8 million property. Just that one property would bring average sold price down to $1,780,000, which kind of puts it in line to where other days when we've had 6, 7, and 8 million properties selling at $2 million. So 1942 is the average sold price, but it's like just been pushed up there because of the few high sales that we had. Before last week, the week before last week, average sold price was 5% lower than what it was a year ago. Last week, for week ending June 8th, average sold price is 12% higher than what it was a year ago. Median price is also 14% higher than what it was a year ago. So average price is 12%, median price is 14% higher than a year ago. If we go back just 3 months, median price was high 1.8, it's now high 1.6. So there's a $200,000 price drop in median price in a span of about 3 months. When we look at sales, now if we look at year-to-date sales, just right now from January 1st to June 8th, so it's not even a full 6 months yet, we're just approaching the 6-month mark, we're 38% less sales this year than last year. And if we stay on the same track, in no time at all, we'll easily be at the 50% mark, where we're going to be doing half the sales this year than what we did last year. Listings are year-to-date 17% lower than what they were a year ago. And months of inventory has come down to 2.4. Now, months of inventory come down is the only, as far as the cities I'm talking about, the only part of York region where months of inventory has actually come down. But you know, we're looking at where months of inventory used to be at 0.8 and lower just before that, but now we're sitting at 2.4 months of inventory. If we look at Richmond Hill, we sold only 15 detached properties in Richmond Hill. One of those was at $2 million or more. So everything I just told you for Vaughan, how the expensive, the luxury properties propped up average sold price to a crazy number, it's the reverse for Richmond Hill. Only one sold at $2 million or more. We did only 15 sales of detached properties. Average sold price has come way down to $1,562,000, which is 9% lower than where average sold price was a year ago. The week before that, we were 5% lower average sold price. So again, average sold price is 9% lower than what it was a year ago. Median price is basically the same as what it was a year ago. I have here on the chart that it's 0.2% higher than what it was a year ago, but it's basically the same. And if we look just at median price, we go back 3 months, it was 1.8, just a little bit over here. You know, the end of March, it was 2 million. It's now sitting at 1.5 million. That was the median price for week ending June 8th. So for Richmond Hill, year-to-date sales, 35% less sales this year than last year. And if we stay at the same pace, the orange, that's this year's sales, the blue, that's last year's, there's a big difference there. If we just a few more months just stay at the same pace, the same difference, we'll be at 50% less sales in no time. Listings are 18% less year-to-date this year than last year. We listed 63 detached properties, and months of inventory has shot up quite a bit. It's now sitting at 4.7, well into the balanced market range. But I gotta tell you, it feels more like a buyer's market. Although technically it's a balance, feels like a buyer's market. People are behaving like it's a buyer's market, especially buyers. Prices are coming down. It's almost like it's either sellers or buyers, and there's no in between. There's supposed to be an in between, but it's not how people are behaving right now. Let's look at Markham. We sold 26 detached properties. 6 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price has shot way up. And again, you know, there was a few very large sales in there that I don't know what happened to all the luxury people. I think all got together, had a meeting and said, this is the week we're all going to buy and skew all the numbers. Well, average sold price is $1,834,000, still way down from where we were at the peak. 1,834,000 is 14% higher than where the average sold price was a year ago, and the median price is 3% lower than what it was a year ago. So average sold price 14% higher, median price 3% lower. 3 months ago, median price was high 1.8 or high 1.7. Just a week later, it's now sitting at 1,536,000 for the median price of a detached property in Markham. Year-to-date sales in Markham, look at the difference between the orange, which is this year, and the blue last year. Year-to-date sales in Markham are 49% lower this year than what we were selling a year ago. It's like people stopped buying in Markham. And is it next week? The week after? We stay on the same pace. It'll be 1 or 2 weeks before we are 50% lower than last year's sales. And that's, there's not too many years that we could talk about a difference in sales of 50% lower than what it was a year ago. Listings are 26% lower than what listings were, and this is year to date. I'm speaking about January 1st to June 8th. So listings are 26% less this year than a year ago. Months of inventory climbed up a bit. It's now sitting at 2.4 months of inventory. On this chart, we were at 1 month of inventory. We go further, you know, we're at 0.4, 0.5 months of inventory. Well, right now we're at 2.4 months of inventory in Markham. Let's look at condos, and this is for all of York Region. We sold 39 condos across York Region. None of those were at $1 million or more, and average sold price has come way down to $689,000. The luxury market is really skewing the numbers one way or another. And for condos, I'm considering luxury $1 million or more. The previous week we sold 6 properties at $1 million or more, or 6 condos. The previous week, none. So you go back 3 weeks, none were sold at $1 million. Average sold price was $689,000. Then we sold 6, boom, $782,000. Then we sold 39. We're back down to $689,000. That's the average sold prices. $689,000 is 7% higher than what it was a year ago. Median price is 11% higher than what it was a year ago. And if we go back 3 months, median price for condos, $764,000. It's now $675,000. So, you know, you're around $100,000 or so less in a matter of 3 months. Year-to-date sales is 25% less sales this year versus a year ago. And listings are up 7% year-to-date. We listed 120 condos across York Region for last week. Months of inventory jumped way up. From 2 months of inventory, we jumped up to 2.7 months of inventory. Average days on market is now sitting at 18. Here's a quick summary. Vaughan is the only spot of what I'm covering here where months of inventory came down. I expect that to change. I expect it to go up a bit higher, but you know, months of inventory is going up across the board. As months of inventory goes up, prices tend to come down. This is what we're seeing. It's a very, very tricky market right now. Make sure the person you're working with is on the ball and can really give you the right advice. Check out the detached property. It's a starter detached home coming up right now. Have a great day.